Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between a jagged mountain and a rushing river, there lived a man named Hadi. Hadi was not born without strength, nor was he born without mind, but he had developed a habit that was far more dangerous. He was a man of total dependence. From the moment he woke up until the sun dipped behind the peaks, Hadi waited for others to move his life forward. He waited for his neighbors to tell him when to plant his seeds. He waited for his brother to fix the leaks in his roof. And he waited for the village elders to decide which path he should take in times of trouble. Ben Hadi believed that the world owed him a helping hand. He walked through the village with a slumped posture, always looking for someone to lean on. To the villagers, he was the helpless man, a title he wore like a comfortable, heavy cloak. I am waiting for the right person to show me the way, he would tell anyone who asked why his fields were overgrown with thorns. He was convinced that his success was a gift that someone else had to deliver to his doorstep. One day, a massive storm caused the river to swell and wash away. The only bridge that connected the village to the market town. The village was cut off, and food supplies began to dwindle. The elders called for every able-bodied man to help build a temporary raft and forge a new path through the mountain pass. While the other men gathered timber and sharpened their tools, Hadi sat on a stump by the riverbank. He watched them work, his hands tucked into his pockets. "Hadi, grab a saw!" "We need everyone's strength," his neighbor called out. Hadi shook his head. "I am waiting for the master carpenter. He knows my hands are not suited for this rough wood. When he comes, he will give me a task that fits me." But the carpenter never came. The men worked through the night, and by dawn, the raft was ready. They loaded what little they had and set off to find help. Hadi stayed behind, sitting on his stump, certain that eventually someone would return with a carriage to pick him up and take him to safety. Days passed, the village grew quiet. The hunger in Hadi's stomach began to grow from a dull ache to a sharp, biting pain. He looked at his overgrown garden and realized that because he had waited for his neighbors to tell him when to plant, he had nothing to harvest. Weak and desperate, Hadi crawled toward the mountain path. He reached a steep, rocky incline where a single, sturdy rope had been left behind by the others. He looked up, waiting for a hand to reach down and pull him up. No one appeared. The wind howled, and the silence of the mountain was deafening. In that moment of absolute isolation, Hadi realized a terrifying truth. If he stayed there waiting for a savior, the mountain would become his grave. Glance, with trembling hands, he reached out and grabbed the rope. For the first time in his life, he didn't look back to see who was watching or who was coming to help. He pulled. His muscles, softened by years of inaction, screamed in protest. He slipped, his knees hitting the sharp stones. But he didn't stop. He realized that the help he had spent his life seeking was already inside his own arms. By the time he reached the top of the pass and saw the lights of the next town, he was no longer the helpless man. He was a man who had finally learned to carry his own weight. The story of Hadi teaches us that dependence is a slow poison that kills your potential before it can ever bloom. While it is good to have a community, relying on others to make your decisions or do your work is a form of self-imprisonment. When you depend on others, you give them the power to dictate your pace and your final destination. You must realize that no one is as invested in your future as you are. While people may offer a hand, they simply cannot walk the path for you. And if you wait for the perfect person or the perfect timing to save you, you may find yourself waiting in a clearing while life passes you by. Land true confidence is not the knowledge that others will help you, but the realization that you can survive even if they don't. The moment Hadi stopped looking for a savior was the exact moment he saved himself. You must stop waiting for someone else to build the bridge for you. Pick up the tools, face the mountain, and realize that you are the only one who can truly move your life forward. Ultimately, your strength is not found in who you know, but in what you are willing to do for yourself.